They're off. Kentucky Bill was out a bit slowly. Juan Crawford hustling him to keep up with the pack. The early lead belongs to Video Evidence, who's already opened up nearly 2. A la carte tracking in second, a half length better than Magical Champagne. Now Kentucky Bill is into 4th, racing in the middle of the racetrack. The trailer is Pamela's Bet. They race within the half-mile marker. It's Video Evidence and Kirk Johnson leading the charge. Second on the outside is A la carte with Helen Vanek. Good position for Magical Champagne with Alexis Sanchez, a length better than Kentucky Bill, then 4 lengths back to Pamela's Bet and Chad Lee. Midway round the turn, A la carte cruises up and puts the neck in front of Video Evidence. Magical Champagne comes off the inside under a ride. Kentucky Bill has stalled and Pamela's Bet still at the back. They corner and it's A la carte on top, a length to a tired Video Evidence. Magical Champagne trying to rally down the far outside but still has 4 lengths to make up on A la carte. A la carte is up with a comfortable margin in the final 16th. It's A la carte and Helen Vanek under a hand ride. A la carte wins by 4, Magical Champagne second, then Video Evidence, Kentucky Bill, and Pamela's Bet, 104-4. They're off. Mo Argento out best towards the rail. Second is Charge That Mountain with Captain Clutch making an advance on the far outside, and a slight steady there for Ruthless Action, who will race at the back of the quartet. It's Mo Argento taking a bit of pressure from Captain Clutch to the outside. Charge That Mountain finds herself in third, now 2.5 lengths off the leader. Ruthless Action has 5 to make up. They race within the 3. The first quarter was 22-1. It's Mo Argento at even money, moving comfortably on the front end. Captain Clutch asked to keep up now from second. Charge That Mountain, Mail Hot takes her out to the 3 path, and Ruthless Action skimming the rail at the back. They hit the head of the lane. It's Mo Argento, still moving well on the front end. Asked for a little bit now by Vanek. She takes a peek behind her and sees Charge That Mountain moving into second, but not really threatening. Ruthless Action comes off the inside, but Mo Argento has this well and truly won. It was won at the 8th pole, really. Mo Argento, an easy score. Mo Argento geared down at the wire, then Ruthless Action, Charge That Mountain, and Captain Clutch. 5 furlongs and 58-1. They're off. Lunging at the start, Mia and Me, speed from the inside from Summer Snow with Benny's Jets and the red blinkers. Galveston going to stalk from the rail. Naughty and Nice also vying for that lead with Truly Mischief out widest. It's a gap of 5 more lengths to Wet and Wild, and after the slow beginning, Mia and Me can see them all. Summer Snow gets loose on the lead under Helen Vanek. She's up by 2 as they race into the turn. Galveston is on the inside. Benny's Jets the center, and Truly Mischief 3 deep past an opening quarter in 21-4. Benny's Jets hard to handle now. Naughty and Nice is racing in 5th. Wet and Wild swings to the outside, and Mia and Me still trails. They reached the head of the lane. It's still Summer Snow clinging to the lead, but Galveston moving well down the outside. These two are 5 lengths clear of Truly Mischief. Wet and Wild trying to rally from the back. Galveston puts the head in front of Summer Snow, who's fighting on the inside. Wet and Wild splitting horses, but coming down to the wire. Galveston and Ishmael Mascara on top. Galveston a length to Summer Snow, then Wet and Wild. A photo for fourth between Naughty and Nice and Mia and me. 57-4. They're off. Gamble on Love hopped up at the start, speed from the inside for American, of course, with Pop Chart second and Frackamore 3 deep. Then we have Gamble on Love, the slow starter, who's overtaken Zipfire, the new trailer. 3 across the track, but it doesn't look like they're going too quick up front. It's American, of course, with a neck advantage, Pop Chart in the center, and Frackamore widest. Steve Jadu has Gamble on Love in a good position in fourth, about 2.5 lengths off the lead, and the trailer is Zipfire Mascara, going to have to come from last. 22-3 for the opening quarter. They approach the 5.5 furlong pole. Reyes lets American, of course, out a notch. She's opened up 2. Gamble on Love dancing on the inside of Pop Chart. Frackamore has had the widest trip, and Zipfire still at the back. At the top of the stretch, it's American, of course, and Luis Reyes moving well. They've opened up 3. Frackamore down the far outside with Pop Chart, who's trying. Gamble on Love calls it quits, and Zipfire still trails. 16th to go. American, of course, well clear coming down to the wire. American, of course, much the best. The 9-year-old mare, American, of course, and Luis Reyes win by 2.5 over Pop Chart. Frackamore, Zipfire, and Gamble on Love. 5.5 and 105-1. They're off. Very good beginning. 1 jab too many out well. Early speed from Leasy 8 and Speedy Lady splitting foes. Much better start this time for Firecracker Fiona, racing fourth on the inside. 3/4 of a length better than Brengan Girl, who's in contention. It's a gap of 3 to Proud Mischief, racing on the far outside with Silent Patsy in the center and Sky Divine on the rail. They race to the 3.5 furlong pole. Into the turn they go. It's Leasy 8 battling with Speedy Lady and 1 jab too many. Firecracker Fiona in very good position from fourth. She's opened up 2.5 lengths on Brengan Girl. Then it's another 3 to Silent Patsy with Proud Mischief to her outside, and Sky Divine is the trailer. They race to the 2 furlong marker. The opening quarter was 22-2. It's 1 jab too many. Mail Hot in the green cap with a short lead over Leasy 8. Firecracker Fiona has swung to the far outside and is making up ground. Speedy Lady's tired. Brengan Girl tries to rally. Firecracker Fiona ranging up to the outside of a stubborn 1 jab too many. 1 jab too many battles back, and 1 jab too many proves best. 1 jab too many, a length to Firecracker Fiona. Brengan Girl might have just got third from Leasy 8. Then Silent Patsy, Speedy Lady, Proud Mischief, and Sky Divine. 104-4. And they're off. A good beginning. Silent Miracle out well from the center with Fast and Ready and Star Scholar all showing speed. Quiet Intent looking to work his way to the inside. He's racing on the flank of Heat Merchant with Mannix out wide. The early trailer is Gus's Gamble. Pretty compact field of 7, about 5 lengths front to back as they make the opening turn. The lead belongs to Star Scholar, just ahead to Silent Miracle. Heat Merchant is taken back to a good spot in third with Fast and Ready between horses. Mannix out 3 deep. A gap of 2 to Quiet Intent, who's racing near the back, and Gus's Gamble is the trailer. 24 seconds and 1/5 for the opening quarter. The battle continues. Star Scholar and Crawford on the inside of Silent Miracle and Mascara, who now go on to lead 3 parts of a length. Mannix moving well in third. Heat Merchant is fourth, saving ground. Then we have Fast and Ready, who's fallen back, racing on the outside of Quiet Intent, who's moving well along the rail. Gus's Gamble has trailed throughout. Midway round the far turn, the half was 47 seconds flat. It's Silent Miracle and Ishmael Mascara up 1.5. Star Scholar is still sticking around in second. Mannix is beginning to stall. Room up the inside for Heat Merchant. Here we've got Gus's Gamble, who's swung to the far outside with Fast and Ready. Silent Miracle getting tired. Here's Star Scholar. Quiet Intent, Mannix. Gus's Gamble from the back. It's Star Scholar on top. Quiet Intent and Gus's Gamble both closing. Quiet Intent surging, but Star Scholar holds on. Star Scholar over Quiet Intent, then Heat Merchant, Gus's Gamble, Mannix, 124 and 1. and gentlemen, welcome back to Fort Erie Racetrack for a Twilight Tuesday of thoroughbred racing here from the Border Oval. It's a pretty warm one outside today, 25 Celsius or 77 Fahrenheit, with a breeze coming out of the east at 6 miles per hour. It's going to be a slight tailwind down the backside. Partly sunny outside, a few clouds, but there's blue skies. The main track is fast, turf is firm with the rail out 6 feet, 29 minutes to first post. Visit our website, forterieracing.com, for information about everything going on here at the track. Tune into the pre-race show for info about the track conditions, scratches and changes, handicapping, and info about upcoming races and events. If you're on site with us here today, don't forget that after the last race, we'll have a free concert at the Tiki Bar featuring Cottage Brew. Be sure to come out this Sunday, July 12th, for our next live racing day. Post time is 12:15, and this Sunday will be Wiener Dog Day, always a fan favorite event here at Fort Erie. The Wiener Dogs will be taking the track after the thoroughbreds have concluded. And after the Wiener Dogs, there'll be more dog racing action here at Fort Erie on August 3rd when the Basset Hounds and Corgis take the track. Also returning this year is the popular Fort Foodie Fest, Sunday, August 3rd, sponsored this year by TELUS Pure Fiber Internet. Be sure to come out for live racing and the Food Truck Festival. The 91st running of the Prince of Wales Stakes is taking place on Labor Day this year, Monday, September 7th. Also returning this year is the Prince of Wales Fashion Contest. The best dressed ladies will win a gift certificate from Lasting Impressions Lifestyle Boutique in Ridgeway. Track-a-Lantern comes back on October 12th, starting at noon. Kids in costume can come and trick-or-treat around the track. As always, we're having non-winning ticket draws today. Bring your non-winning tickets to customer service for your chance to win some cool prizes. Today's non-winning ticket draw is offering tickets to the Great Benjamin Circus, which is taking place right here in the Fort Erie parking lot, running from July 9th to the 11th. Treat your team to an exciting day at the races, only $15 per person. The track pack includes one food item, one drink, and a Fort Erie live racing program. For more information, go to our website. Be sure to book your table in the Turfside Dining Room, open on live racing days. Reservations are recommended. Head down to the Paddock Shack for burgers, hot dogs, sausages, fries, and poutine, plus beer and soft drinks, located near the walking ring. Become a member of HPIBet.com today. Get $100 when you bet $100, plus your first bet is on us. Tune into your TV Niagara for the Fort Erie Race Replay Show, Channel 70 HD or 100 Epico, Thursdays at 10:30, Saturdays at 4, and Sundays at noon. Jackpot High Five wagering offered in Race 6 today. The carryover is up to $5,089. Smoking is allowed in designated areas only at Fort Erie Racetrack. No food or beverage are allowed in these areas, and no cannabis is allowed on the property. Up next are today's changes. In Race 1, we have a rider change on the number 2, Coach Kaylee. Make the rider Chad Lee. And take out the main track only, number 7, Brazilian Legacy. In Race 2, we have an overweight on the number 3, Frederica's Rose. The rider will be 1 pound over at 121. In Race 3, Stewart scratched the main track only, number 7, Dodester. Race 4, we have an overweight on the number 6, Charity First. The rider will be 1 pound over at 118 pounds. The number 7, Z-Hub, there's a trainer change. The trainer should read Ken Smith. And we're awaiting a rider on the number 7 Z-Hub, rider TBA. Race 5 is clear, no changes in the 5th. And in Race 6, we have a rider change on the number 4, La Ronde. Make the rider Jeffrey Alderson. 6 races on the card today, 3 on the turf and 3 on the dirt. It's a beautiful Tuesday evening here at Fort Erie. Jackpot High Five carryover growing in the 6th. Let's take a look at our picks on today's card. Race 1 is a claiming race for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up, which have never won 3. We're going around 7 furlongs, $62.50 the claiming price to kick off the early pick 4 on the card. Take out the main track only. It's a field of 6 going to kick off the card. Coming down from Woodbine is the number 3, Dreams and Schemes, sent down to Mickey Neubauer by the powerful Catherine Day Phillips outfit. This is a 7-year-old mare by Silent Name. She's been kind of over her head at Woodbine for a couple seasons now. She's been running for $25,000, $15,000. She picks up checks, but she has a hard time finding the winner's circle. The 7 furlongs on the turf suits her well, and with this plunge in for $62.50, she should be competitive. Jeffrey Alderson in the saddle. Number 5, Sarah's Dancer, is going to make her seasonal debut here. Now going for George Newland. George Newland and owner Robin Osborne had a winner yesterday with Galveston. Sarah's Dancer's run some good turf races before. Surprisingly, never won on the turf, but she's been 2nd or 3rd in 4 out of 5 turf starts. Ran well off the layoff last year, got beat a neck at Woodbine. Oh, that was her 2nd start off the layoff, sorry. She came down here to Fort Erie at the end of the season and ran a close 4th on the dirt. Kirk Johnson having a good start to the season. He will pilot Sarah's Dancer here. Then the number 4, In It to Win It. Disappointed in a tougher 8,000 non-4, non-1 of the year on June 7th. Now she's dropping in for 6, getting in to face non-winners of 3, 2nd start off the bench. Deshaun Gaskin, he's been very live riding here at Fort Erie this season, and Kevin Buttigieg now trains this Colebrook Farms trainee who has won on the Fort Erie turf on a couple of occasions. Race 2 is a maiden allowance race for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up, 5.5 furlong sprint going to start the pick 5 on today's card. A couple of interesting first-time starters here with good pedigrees. I've gone to the number 4, Ready is a Breeze. This is a homebred for Hopefield Farm by More Than Ready, out of a Better Breeze, who's produced a turf winner in a Broken Breeze. This one's been training steadily here, has had a couple of gate workouts. Deshaun Gaskin going to ride this one for the Augustino barn. She's ready off the layoff. I think she's got some ability. Number 2, Northwest Candy, is a first-time starter for Mickey Neubauer, homebred for Charles Fipke. This one's by Twirling Candy out of a Tail of a Coddy mare. It's had several breezes here, 101 and 2 out of the gate on June 29th. Should be plenty ready to go. Jeffrey Alderson has the assignment. Then the number 1, Noisy Girl, ran an okay 3rd for 8,000 in her first start off the layoff. That was her first start over the Fort Erie dirt. The other 2 don't look inspiring. If either of the first-time starters prove to be either short or just not ready first off the bench, Noisy Girl could be in the hunt from the inside with Alexis Sanchez. Race 3 is an allowance race back on the turf, going 7 furlongs. It's for 3-year-olds and up, which have never won 2. The late pick 4 starts here. It is a field of 6. The number 3, Drop Your Gloves, making his 2nd start off the layoff. He kind of blew the turn on June 21st, but he finished really well to be 3rd, beaten 3/4 of a length. That was going 5 furlongs. He should definitely appreciate the added distance, getting out to the extended 7 furlong trip. Steve Jadu riding this one for Kevin Buttigieg. Number 6, Lumberyard, comes out of the same race, just held the runner-up spot from Drop Your Gloves. He already had a start under his belt at Woodbine going into that race, so Drop Your Gloves may be caught up here. We'll see what kind of trip Helen Vanek can work out. Helen Vanek and Nick Malini scored both ends of yesterday's early double. Then the number 1, Heard a Ghost, ran well, closing from last to be 2nd behind the pace-setting My Math is Correct at this level last week. Draws inside. Luis Reyes scored his first Fort Erie win yesterday aboard American, of course. He's had a couple of winners for Kevin Attard up at Woodbine, so this one definitely looks worth a shot from the inside draw. Race 4 is an 8,000 maiden claimer for 3-year-olds and up, going 6.5 furlongs. It is a field of 7, still awaiting a rider on the number 7 Z Hub here. My top choice isn't one that I feel strongly about. It's the number 2, Zip to Zap, coming in from Woodbine for the Steve Chirkop barn. Zip to Zap ran third first time out for $30,000 in New Orleans for Joe Sharp, then was purchased in a digital auction for $42,000 American. They ran him once at Charlestown in the slop. He showed nothing, then immediately ran him for $10,000 at Woodbine. So they were not happy with their $42,000 acquisition. Now he's here running for $7,000 at Fort Erie. It's more just process of elimination. You can't really fall in love with anybody in this race. We've got a lot of horses who are coming off layoffs, have shown nothing. We've got a 7-year-old maiden who hasn't run since November. I mean, I don't like Zip to Zap. I just like everyone else less. So we'll see what happens here. The number 7, Z-Hub. As we said, we're still waiting for a rider on Z-Hub. This one goes for Radcliffe Racing Stable, who've been having a good season up at Woodbine so far. Ken Smith trains this one. She's had a couple of 5/8 breezes coming into this race. They haven't been fast. They've been handily. West Virginia bred, you'd think that's dirt pedigree, but you also wouldn't think it's great dirt pedigree. We'll see what happens. And then the number 3, Hard Performer. As I mentioned, this is a 7-year-old maiden coming up from Finger Lakes for owner-trainer Marvin Richards. I imagine there's a rule that doesn't allow 7-year-old maidens to race there, so they're coming up here looking for an opportunity to run. He's a 7-year-old colt. He's by Hard Spun. Back in the day, he was meant to be a good horse. He was purchased for $330,000. He made one start as a 3-year-old and then didn't run again for another 3 years. He ran second at Parks for $16,000 in November. So, you know, there's some run here. It's just a matter of how's he going to run in his first start since November, shipping up from Finger Lakes. There's a lot of variables at play here. Kirk Johnson will be the rider. Race 5 is an allowance race going 1 mile and 70 yards, no conditions, late double. Starts here, field of 5, couple of interesting ones here. The number 1, Scat Factor, kicked off his season in a pretty tough turf starter optional claimer on June 7th. Scat Factor definitely better on the dirt. He won a couple of good races here on the dirt last year. An allowance race going 1 mile and 1/8, the tough starter optional. Then ran second behind Victory March in the Harvest Moon Cup on closing day. That was Victory March was a monster. Running second to him is no great shame. Now we've got to start under our belt. We're back to our preferred surface. This should be a good spot for Alexis Sanchez and Allison Jennings to team up for a win. The number 2, If You Insist, was a winner in a 5,000 claimer on May 31st, opening day. Went to the lead and held on. He has no problem with the 2-turn distance. He won a few times around 2 turns on the dirt last year. And he could be the pace setter. If he gets loose on the lead, he could be tough despite the class rise. This is a Mark Fournier trainee with Juan Crawford in the saddle. And the number 5, Times a Breeze. He kicked off his season in a 6-furlong allowance race on June 14th. Just kind of went around there. Probably needed a start. 1 mile 70 yards is better for him. I know he won going 6.5 here last year, but he's definitely more of a 2-turn horse. Has that start under his belt and should be running on for a share. Leo Sala is riding this one for Roy Augustino. Last race of the day, race 6 is a maiden allowance race for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up, about 7 furlongs distance, $5,000 in the Jackpot High 5 carryover. We've got a field of 8 going to close out the card. I've gone to the number 1, Blues Mommy for John Sims with Deshaun Gaskin riding. Blues Mommy ran a good second behind the pace-setting Strike a Note on June 21st. Before that, ran well in the Summer Solstice Cup. Her only start on turf came up at Woodbine against Tuffer, and she ran 4th. It wasn't a bad effort. She draws a good post, and she's in good form. I like Blues Mommy here. Number 6, Dancing Mary Marie, made her Fort Erie debut in the same race as Blues Mommy. Dropped back to last and was finishing up well to be 4th. She's raced well on the turf at Woodbine in the past. Deshaun Bino picking up the mount now for Desmond Maynard. Second start with the cheek pieces on. And the number 5, It's Payday, I think is interesting. She was finishing up pretty well to be second behind Meritude in a maiden 8 on the dirt, going 6 furlongs. Has some pedigree for the turf. Shouldn't mind the stretch out to the extended 7 furlongs. Luis Reyes riding this one for Danny Wills. 14 minutes to today's first post. Best of luck with all of your wagers, and enjoy your day here at Fort Erie Racetrack.
It's easy to make a bet on HPIBet.com. Follow these simple steps and you'll be betting in no time. First, go to the HPIBet.com website. Sign in to your HPIBet account. Find the track and race you want to bet on. Click on the Place Bet button. Click on the bet type you want to wager with. Click on the amount you want to wager. Click on the horse you want to wager on. Click on the green Place Bet button. Review your bet confirmation information. It's all done. Remember, all this can be done on most mobile devices. Now cheer on your pick to victory.
We kick off the Tuesday program here in the opener on the turf course at about 7 furlongs. It's a claiming event for non-winners of 3 life fillies and mares, and they're in for the claiming price of $6,250. And just looking at this race, I found it to be a little complicated based on the pace dynamics. There's not a ton of speed on paper, and I think that's really going to affect some of these runners. And I think you're going to see horses that might be a little bit more forward from the get-go in comparison to what their normal form is like. So in this field of 6, I go to the number 4, In It to Win It, who I did use last time out. I felt like she probably needed the race, but it was really focusing in on the win last season when she was able to get the job done at this distance on the turf course. It was the same thing. There wasn't a ton of pace on paper. She found herself towards the front. They went slow, and she was able to prevail, and I think that's the sort of trip that she could get in here. Obviously, it will come down to tactics here and what the discussion is between the connections, but I feel like she can maybe get the right trip in here, so I will use her on top. The mare to her inside, the number 3, Dreams and Schemes. It's just a new face here to Fort Erie. We don't know what she's going to do here. She was previously trained by Catherine Day Phillips, now in the barn and Mickey Neubauer. And looking at her races, she typically doesn't show a lot of early foot. We saw her try to get involved 3 starts back. That was going longer on the Tapeta up at Woodbine, and she kind of failed in the stretch there. But this is a different ball game, especially going 7 furlongs. It's still 2 turns, but it's different. I thought her effort 4 back when she got that 60 by her speed figure was respectable, and she wasn't that far off of it early on. She was just 3 or 4 lengths off the action. So for her, change of scenery, and obviously some class relief could make all the difference. And then finally from here, looking at some of the others, I thought the 5, Sarah's Dancer, was worth a little bit of a look. Looking at her form last year, we saw her here at Fort Erie, but we saw her on the dirt. And in that dirt effort, she was at this level. She went 6 furlongs. She was 4th. She only missed by about 3/4 of a length, but looking at that race, Fanny M, I thought was respectable all last season. Brazilian Legacy, who was the MTO in this race, that's out of it. Another one that was sort of interesting, and I wonder what the tactics will be here, being more towards the outside of the starting gate. In terms of her turf form, you can see fairly consistent on the grass up at Woodbine, and typically against tougher, just looking at the claiming prices there. So I have a feeling she's going to take some respect, but I will go to the number 4, In It to Win It, as my top pick. I hope that she can get a forward position in here and prevail. Good luck.
Field is making their way on track for today's first race. Race 1 is a claiming race for fillies and mares 3-year-olds and up, which have never won 3 races. Going for a claiming price of $6,250 down to $6,000, traveling about 7 furlongs over the turf course, competing for a purse of $21,150. Race 1 offers win, place, show, exactor, 20-cent try, double, 20-cent super, 20-cent pick 3, and 20-cent early pick 4 wagering. Race 1 post parade. Number 1 is Gambler's Pose. Steve Jadu rides for trainer Ken Albu and owner Six Brothers Stable. Number 2 is Coach Kaylee. Chad Lee picks up the mount for trainer Julie Mathis and owner Bruno Schickadans. Number 3 is Dreams and Schemes, racing for Breakencrest Incorporated. Jeffrey Alderson rides for trainer Mickey Neubauer. Colebrook Farms own the number 4, In It to Win It. Deshaun Gaskin pilots for trainer Kevin Buttigieg. Number 5 is Sarah's Dancer, Kirk Johnson riding for trainer George Newland and owner Robin Osborne. Completing the field, number 6, Cinnamon Bits, Leo Salas rides for trainer Joe Humber and owner Robert Elkins. 2 minutes to post for race 1. We're on the turf to kick off the early pick 4. Fillies and mares are making their way onto the turf course. Not much time left to get your race 1 wagers in. Current favorite at 2-1 is the number 3, Dreams and Schemes, 3-1 support. Now 7-2 on both number 1, Gambler's Pose, and the number 4, In It to Win It. This race kicks off the early pick 4 on today's card, the first of 6 for a Tuesday here at Fort Erie. Race 1 field is behind the starting gate. It is now post time. Dreams and Schemes down to even money as we begin loading for the first of the day here at Fort Erie. First to load will be Gambler's Pose and Steve Jadu. Gate 2 for the Irish bred, Coach Kaylee with Chad Lee. Coach Kaylee comes up. Dreams and Schemes making her Fort Erie debut under Jeffrey Alderson. Now 4-5. In It to Win It, Deshaun Gaskin. Sarah's Dancer with Kirk Johnson. Last in will be Cinnamon Bits and Leo Salas. All set. They're off. In It to Win It out well from the center with Gambler's Pose down along the inside. Coach Kaylee ridden along and now takes the early lead. Cinnamon Bits is out wide, racing on the outer of Sarah's Dancer, who's a bit keen. The early trailer is Dreams and Schemes. They're tightly packed as they race into the opening turn. It's Coach Kaylee and Chad Lee racing on the lead, a length better than Cinnamon Bits in second on the outside. In It to Win It is back into third, racing between horses as Sarah's Dancer in the orange blinkers begins to advance. Gambler's Pose saves ground, and Dreams and Schemes is in that back pack. 24-1 for the opening quarter. It's still Coach Kaylee who makes the pace, being pressed by Cinnamon Bits. Out wide, Sarah's Dancer is into third, with In It to Win It fourth, Gambler's Pose fifth, and Dreams and Schemes at the back off the rail. They race into the far turn, out from the trees. Cinnamon Bits putting the pressure on Coach Kaylee. They're head and head. Sarah's Dancer stalks this duo with Gambler's Pose a length back in fourth. Now here comes Dreams and Schemes in the blue, trying to rally past In It to Win It. Coach Kaylee has responded to the challenge of Cinnamon Bits and opens up back a length. Sarah's Dancer is under the whip, room up the inside for Gambler's Pose, and Dreams and Schemes going to try and rally down the extreme outside. 5 across the track with a furlong to go. It's Coach Kaylee trying to fend off every challenge, but Gambler's Pose, you could drive a truck through the rail. Dreams and Schemes flying down the far outside. Dreams and Schemes collars Gambler's Pose in the final 70 yards. Dreams and Schemes and Jeffrey Alderson an easy winner. Dreams and Schemes by 2. I think Coach Kaylee might have come on for second over Gambler's Pose, then Sarah's Dancer, Cinnamon Bits, and In It to Win It. 125-3. In the place photo, it's the number 2, Coach Kaylee, over the number 1, Gambler's Pose. Fourth, number 5, Sarah's Dancer. Unofficial race 1 order, 3215. Now back in front of us, returning to the winner's circle, is your unofficial first race winner, number 3, Dreams and Schemes. Dreams and Schemes is a 7-year-old bay mare by Silent Name out of Bear's Gem, bred here in Ontario by Kingview Farms and Doug Anderson. Piloted to victory today by Jeffrey Alderson in last to first fashion, Dreams and Schemes is trained by Mickey Neubauer for Breakencrest Incorporated. Third lifetime win for Dreams and Schemes, who rallies to complete the about 7 furlong distance in a winning time of 1:25.3. Congratulations to the connections of Dreams and Schemes. Race 1 is now official. Prices are up. Dreams and Schemes returns $370 to win, $250 and $210. Second, number 2, Coach Kaylee, $720 to place, $480. Third, number 1, Gambler's Pose, $490 to show. $2 exacta, 3-2, 25.10. The $1 try, 3-2-1, 54.15. $1 super, 3-2-1-5, $136.15. On screen now is the place photo from race 1. Our new dog racing shirts are now available at customer service. Head down to customer service to pick up some dog racing swag.
Here comes the second photo.
On screen now is the 4th place photo from race 1. Race 2 changes. The number 3, Frederica's Rose, an overweight, 1 pound over at 121. Also, ladies and gentlemen, we have the late rider change in race 4. Turn your programs forward to race 4. The number 7, Z-Hub, will now be ridden by Jeffrey Alderson. Put Jeffrey Alderson on Z-Hub in race 4. 19 minutes to race 2.
Pick 5 time here in race number 2, a maiden special weight event for the girls. They'll go 5.5 furlongs here on the main track, and it's a compact field of 5, but we have a couple of fresh faces, a pair of first-time starters, the 2 Northwest Candy, and the 4 Ready as a Breeze. And just watching this field of 5 come over, this is a pretty sharp group of fillies and mares. They're all feeling pretty good. The 1, the 3, and the 4, they were all on their toes. You're going to see the 3 go by in a second here, Frederica's Rose. But I did go to the 2 in here, Northwest Candy, as the top pick. One of those first-time starters. She's a daughter of Twirling Candy, who's at about 15% with first-time starters. Look at the bottom side of the pedigree here. There were some things to like. The mare, she was productive in terms of her race career. She's 4th in the Grade 2 Fairgrounds Oaks. She had won a pair of races. And in terms of kind of looking at offspring, there isn't a ton to go by. Not the most productive, but she's had a couple of winners that she's foaled, so I thought that was something to go off of, and just a barn here that does well with these first-time starters. In terms of the workout tab, it's what I would expect from a Mickey Neubauer trainee. Some sharp drills coming in here. The most recent one out of the gate in 101 and 2 for 5 furlongs. You get Jeff Alderson aboard, and I think that's a selling point after what we just saw in the opener, as this team was able to take that race with Dreams and Schemes. So go to Northwest Candy on top. I think in terms of the horses that have race day experience, the 1 Noisy Girl is the horse, the logical one to use. She was 3rd last time out in her first start off the freshening. She technically jumps up in class, as she was in for $7,000 last time out, but she had to chase the pace throughout in there. I didn't think it was a bad performance by any means. First time on the dirt. I do think she'll be a little bit more fit. 2nd off the freshening. Look at her coming over. I mentioned she was on her toes, but once she got the tack on, it didn't seem like she settled a little bit. She made a lovely impression physically. And then finally, the other first-time starter in here, the 4 Ready as a Breeze. The contrast, at least in terms of her and Northwest Candy, is she's a 4-year-old making it to the races for the first time. She's the stablemate to the number 1 Noisy Girl, and she has a series of drills. You can see the last 2, they've both been out of the gate, 48 and 4 breezing, and then more recently 50 and 2. She hasn't worked since then, right? That work being on June 14th. Top side, always like More Than Ready, as I don't think you can ever leave a More Than Ready first or off your tickets. But I just thought, kind of looking at her, maybe she would need a race, so opted for the other first-time starter in here. So as I mentioned, this is going to kick off the pick 5. Don't think I could single here. I'd probably go at least 2 deep, and for me, the top 2 being the 2 and the 1. Good luck.
Field is making their way on track for today's second race. Race 2 is a maiden allowance race for fillies and mares 3-year-olds and up, traveling a distance of 5 1/2 furlongs, competing for a purse of $22,050. Race 2 offers win, place, show, exactor, 20-cent try, double, 20-cent super, 20-cent pick 3, and 20-cent pick 5 wagering. Race 2 post parade, number 1 is Noisy Girl. Alexis Sanchez riding for trainer Roy Augustino and owner Even Stevens Stables. Number 2 is Northwest Candy, ridden today by Jeffrey Alderson for trainer Mickey Neubauer, racing for Charles Fipke. Candace Warwick owns the number 3, Frederica's Rose. Ishmael Mascara pilots for trainer Steve Cathcart. Number 4 is Ready Is a Breeze. Deshaun Gaskin riding for trainer Roy Augustino and owner Hopefield Farm. Completing the field, number 5, Magnetize. Juan Crawford riding for trainer Paula Loescher and owner Wanda Sue Jones. 3 minutes to post for race 2, start of today's pick 5. Race 2 field is now behind the starting gate. It is now post time. Even money favorite, the number 2 Northwest Candy, one of 2 first-time starters here. 8-5 on the number 1 Noisy Girl. Noisy Girl will be the first to load with Alexis Sanchez. Now 3-2. Full cup blinkers on Northwest Candy. Jeffrey Alderson and Mickey Neubauer looking for both ends of today's early double. Frederica's Rose with Ishmael Mascara to gate 3. Ready is a Breeze with Deshaun Gaskin. Last in will be Magnetize, racing without Hines shoes today. They'll load Magnetize without the rider. Juan Crawford will climb back aboard in the gate. Magnetize a bit fractious. Looks like Magnetize is in. Juan Crawford to get reacquainted, and we'll be all set for race 2. They're off. They broke in a perfect line. Frederica's Rose from the center with Noisy Girl down along the inside. Splitting them is Northwest Candy. Magnetize out wide. A little slow to begin, trailing the field early as Ready is a Breeze. It's a speed duel up front between the first-time starter Northwest Candy and Noisy Girl. The 2 favorites duke it out with Magnetize and Juan Crawford tracking them to the outside in third. Frederica's Rose, after a good beginning, is back in fourth, 2.5 lengths off the lead, saving ground. And then another 5 back to Ready as a Breeze, patiently handled thus far by Deshaun Gaskin. They've raced within the 3. The opening quarter was 22-4. It is still Noisy Girl and Northwest Candy battling it out. Frederica's Rose coming into third on the inside of Magnetize, and Ready as a Breeze still at the back. At the head of the lane, it's Northwest Candy and Noisy Girl. Both of them have been duking it out from the start. The half was 46-2. Northwest Candy now with the advantage. Noisy Girl comes under some right-handed encouragement. Frederica's Rose and the Green Silks closing well down the outside. It's Northwest Candy. She's put away Noisy Girl. Frederica's Rose is the challenger. Frederica's Rose coming. Northwest Candy holds on to win. Northwest Candy and Jeffrey Alderson a neck to Frederica's Rose, then Noisy Girl. Late rally from Ready as a Breeze, then Magnetize. 106-2. Unofficial in race 2, the winner is number 2, Northwest Candy. Second is the 3, Frederica's Rose. Third, number 1, Noisy Girl. And fourth, number 4, Ready as a Breeze. Unofficial race 2 order, 2-3-1-4. Race 2 is now official. Well, it hasn't been the quickest trip back to the winner's circle, but now Northwest Candy is back in front of us, returning to get her picture taken. Northwest Candy is a 3-year-old dark bay or brown filly by Twirling Candy out of Northwest Tail, a homebred in Kentucky for owner Charles Fipke. Jockey Jeffrey Alderson and trainer Mickey Neubauer take both ends of today's early double. Northwest Candy, first-time starter, wins on debut, holding on after a speed duel to complete the 5.5 furlongs in 106 and 2. Congratulations to the connections of Northwest Candy. Race 2 is official. Prices will be up shortly. Prices are up. Northwest Candy returns $420 to win, $290 and $210. Second, number 3, Frederica's Rose, $390 to place, $210. Third, number 1, Noisy Girl, $210 to show. $2 exacta, 2-3, $12.50. The $1 try, 2-3-1, $9.50. $1 super, 2-3-1-4, $17.50. And the $2 double, 3-2, $9.10. Well, folks, I'm sure you noticed on your way in, but the Great Benjamin Circus is here in Fort Erie this week, taking place in the Fort Erie Racetrack parking lot. That's taking place from July 9th to 11th, and you have a chance to win tickets in today's non-winning ticket prize draws. So take those non-winning tickets down to customer service. And be sure to come out this Sunday for one of the most popular days of the year here at Fort Erie, Wiener Dog Day. Post time will be 12:15, and the Wiener Dogs will take the track after the final horse race. Be sure to join the Fort Erie Racetrack Loyalty Club. Visit customer service for details. You can win or earn rewards the more you attend the races this summer. Race 3 is coming up in 18 minutes. Stewart scratched the main track only, number 7, Dodester.
We return to the turf here in race number 3. It's a race at about 7 furlongs, an allowance event for Colton Geldings in search of their second lifetime win. And have to kick things off here with the number 3, Drop Your Gloves, who you can see finished behind Lumberyard, one of his rivals once again today. But if you watch his first start of 2026 and look at the replay, he had a ton of trouble. I mean, he broke fine out of the gate, but you can see he sort of had to tug on his rider. He got out pretty bad in the turn. I really think it cost him the win. I think if he didn't pull those antics, he would have won last time out. And that race was going shorter at 5 furlongs. I don't mind the stretch out at all. I actually think this is even better for him, and I expect him to be a little sharper second time out. And I like where he's drawn today. I like that he's got horses on both sides of him. I think that's going to help him out a little bit. So Drop Your Gloves is the top pick in terms of a paddock pick. He would be the horse as well, because when he came over, he was really on his toes. He's sharp, but not overly sharp, very confident. And I think now, just looking at him this week compared to the last time we saw, he's taken another step forward. So Drop Your Gloves on top. Some others to consider: the one, Heard a Ghost on the inside. I thought ran really well last time out in just that second start of the year. And both performances have been fine. The first race, you can see, carted for the turf, moved to the main track at 5 furlongs over a sloppy track. He was able to use the waiver, the connections there, and he tried to roll from off of it. It can be extremely difficult to do on an off track. He just came up third best, and the winner was able to take them gate to wire. So not a bad return. And then they got him on the grass last time out, and I think he took a nice step forward. You can see that reflected in his buyer speed figure in terms of the way that he finished. I thought he had pretty good late turn of foot. I do like the inside for him and the fact that he'll be able to save ground. I do think the one thing that concerns me with him is going to be his position. He has shown a little bit more early foot in the past, but in those 2 starts so far this year, he's been pretty far off of it. I don't think he can afford to be that far off the action early on if he wants to take the top spots. I think it's going to come down to the ride here and the trip for the number 1, Heard a Ghost. And finally, I mentioned the name already, Lumberyard. He was the second place finisher in that allowance event that Drop Your Gloves exits back on June 21st. And I thought this horse ran a fine race. Got a mid-pack position, tried to get up there to take the win, and just came up a little bit short, but very debonair. I was able to get a forward trip in there. So you feel like this one for Nick Millennium Jr. can continue to build upon that performance. It is worth noting he's going to have to stretch out, though, from 5/8. And looking at his races in the past, I don't think it's necessarily going to be a problem. I just preferred a couple of others over that one. So I'll use Drop Your Gloves on top here with the 1 underneath, as well as the 6, Lumberyard. Good luck.
Field is making their way on track for today's third race. Race 3 is an allowance race for 3-year-olds and up, which have never won 2 races. Traveling about 7 furlongs over the turf course, competing for a purse of $25,050. Race 3 offers win, place, show, exactor, 20-cent try, double, 20-cent super, 20-cent pick 3, and 20-cent late pick 4 wagering. Race 3 post parade, number 1 is Heard a Ghost. Luis Reyes riding for trainer Mike Blake and owners Ascot Stud, Michael Blake Sr., Amanda Enns, and Mark Stout. Number 2 is Roombaba. Leo Salas has the call for trainer Nick Malini Jr. and owner Bruno Schickedans. Kevin Buttigieg owns and trains the number 3 Drop Your Gloves. The rider is Steve Jadu. Number 4 is Arami Speightster racing for Jeannie Ryan. Kirk Johnson rides for trainer Danny Wills. Number 5 is Final Run for Love. Juan Crawford in the saddle for trainer Roy Augustino and owner Amanda Ezra. Completing the field, number 6 Lumberyard, Helen Vanek riding for trainer Nick Malini Jr. and owners Winston and Carol Wilkinson. Scratch the 7, 2 minutes to post for race 3. We're on the turf to kick off the late pick 4. Starting gate is in position. Not too much time left to get your race 3 wagers in. Current favorite at 8-5 is the number 6 Lumberyard. 3-1 on the number 3 Drop Your Gloves, and 7-2 now 3-1 on the number 1 Heard a Ghost. Late pick 4 starts here. We're on the turf over the extended 7 furlongs. Race 3 field is behind the starting gate. It is now post time. 6-5 now on Lumberyard. 1 of 2 for the Nick Malini barn, who had a good day yesterday with 2 wins. They're going to back in Rhumbaba to begin the loading process. Leo Salas will climb back aboard. Salas back in the saddle on Rhumbaba. Herda Ghost and Luis Reyes come to gate 1. Drop Your Gloves and Steve Jadu. 5-2 on this one. Arami Speitster makes his first start of the year under Kirk Johnson. Final Run for Love and Juan Crawford in the bright pink. Last in will be Lumberyard and Helen Vanek. All set. They're off. Rhumbaba broke a bit slowly. Drop Your Gloves out well, and Lumberyard from the far outside. Intent on that early lead with Arami Speitster also wanting to make the front. Good position on the inside in third now for Herda Ghost, who's overtaken Drop Your Gloves, then Rhumbaba, and Final Run for Love. They race midway around the turn, 5.5 furlongs to travel. It's Lumberyard with the neck in front of Arami Speitster. These two have sped 5 lengths clear of Herda Ghost, who's racing in third. Off the rail comes Rhumbaba. To his outside is Drop Your Gloves, and Final Run for Love can see them all. 23-1 for the opening quarter. It's a quick early pace. Lumberyard has overtaken Arami Speitster and opens up 1.5, but they're getting closer. Herda Ghost making up ground. He was bet down to 7-5, and he's traveling well on the inside. Drop Your Gloves now fourth as Rhumbaba begins to tire, and Final Run for Love has not yet gotten involved. 45-4. It's a quick pace. They've got just over 2 furlongs to go. Lumberyard now asked to maintain his pace. Herda Ghost crying out for a run, and Drop Your Gloves moving well on the outside with Rhumbaba. Final Run for Love still trailing. It's still Lumberyard, but now Herda Ghost has a split, and he's traveled, puts the head in front. Here comes Drop Your Gloves down the far outside. Late rally from Final Run for Love. It's Herda Ghost on top. Lumberyard trying to fight back. Drop Your Gloves there. Final Run for Love closing, but Herda Ghost, what a perfect ride by Luis Reyes, goes on to win by 2. Drop Your Gloves up for second, then Lumberyard, Final Run for Love, Rhumbaba, and Arami Speitster, 124-2. Unofficial in race 3, the winner is number 1, Herda Ghost. Second, number 3, Drop Your Gloves. Third, number 6, Lumberyard, and fourth, number 5, Final Run for Love. Unofficial race 3 order, 1365. Back in front of us in the winner's circle, the unofficial winner of today's third race, number 1, Heard a Ghost. Heard a Ghost is a 4-year-old chestnut gelding by Shaman Ghost out of Heard That, bred here in Ontario by Cross-Eskytie Racing Stable. Luis Reyes with the winning ride. Heard a Ghost is trained by Mike Blake for Ascot Stud, Mike Blake Sr., Amanda Enns, and Mark Stout. Heard a Ghost wheels back in a week and proves best with a beautiful trip, completing the about 7 furlongs today in 1:24 and 2. Congratulations to the connections of Heard a Ghost. Hold all tickets until race 3 is made official. Race 3 is now official. Prices are up. Heard a Ghost returns $4.90 to win, $2.70 and $2.10. Second, number 3, Drop Your Gloves, $3.30 to place, $2.20. Third, number 6, Lumberyard, $2.30 to show. $2 exacta, 1.3, $14.80. The $1 try, 1.36, $18.10. $1 super, 1.365, $50.60. $2 double, 2.1, $15.80. And the $1 pick 3, $18.80. Fort Erie is proud to partner with Oneida New Holland of Niagara. We'd like to thank them for providing us with a tractor for our racetrack maintenance. We'd also give a shout out to our new partners at True Green Professional Lawn Care who have been helping us keep our grass looking green and lush. And a shout out to our partners at All-in-One Legal Concierge. If you have legal hurdles, you can bet on All-in-One. Race 4 up next, an overweight on the number 6, Charity First, 1 pound over at 118. Rider change on the number 7, Z-Hub, Jeffrey Alderson, and take note the trainer of Z-Hub is Ken Smith. 18 minutes to post for race 4.
Race 4 up next is an $8,000 maiden claiming event. They'll compete here at 6.5 furlongs on the main track. And it's a field of 7. Just to note a couple of changes regarding the 7, Z-Hub will now be piloted by Jeff Alderson, and trainer should be listed as Ken Smith. And this group, this is not an easy way to kick off our final pick 3 on the program. It's a challenging race. I mean, everyone has to do a lot better than they've shown so far, and we'll see who's able to do so. I'm going to start with the 2, Zip to Zap here for Steve Churkop. Brings this one down from Woodbine, where you can see they've tried some different things. When they first got this horse, you can see it had to go down to Charlestown, raced at 7 Ace in a maiden special weight event, really never got going from towards the back of the pack, and willing to forgive that effort based on the fact that the track was sloppy that day. Then they took him onto the Tapeta off the freshening. Then they stretched him out on the turf. It just really hasn't worked out for him, but he showed ability on his debut. It was actually a really nice third when he was able to kind of hold his own position there when he missed by 6 lengths in a $30,000 maiden claiming event at the beginning of this year down at the fairgrounds. I think if there's any way that he gets back to a race like that, I think he's the horse to beat, but it's a big question to take here. I know the betting board is supporting the horse to his outside a little bit more, that being the 3 Hard Performer, but I'm going to land on Zip to Zap as the top pick. Others to consider: the 7, Z-Hub. I really liked what we saw from him physically when he walked over. He's a pretty good looking son here of Unbridled Energy, who really hasn't been able to get going, was most recently seen back in December. So he's going to work off the layoff here to return to the races, was in for 7,000, and at least had somewhat of a forward position in that race early on. That's what I'm sort of keen in on. I know he backed out of it, but still think this is a softer spot. Maybe comes to life here on the main track. You can see he's been working consistently for his return. I like that Jeff Alderson's going to climb aboard, and I don't mind the outside draw for him, so I'll use that one underneath. And then finally, the number 1, Common Canter. This one for Roger Hasmatali has had 3 starts under this one's belt, all sprinting on the Tapeta up at Woodbine. I like that he does have a race this year that he can now build upon, and I like that he's by Super Speedy. We see it all the time here. The Super Speedies really take to the main track. I'm going to hope that's going to be the wake-up call for him. You can see he's been training on the training track up at Woodbine. The works aren't going to razzle you by any means, but I do think this one can come to life. Nice to see Juan Crawford booked to ride. I did want to mention the 3 Hard Performer real quick. Was the morning line favorite, or one of the shorter prices, I should say, at 3-1, and opened up as the heavy favorite here. He's a 7-year-old looking to graduate. Maybe I'm being a little critical of his performance last time out, but the one thing that I saw in that Parks race, it was back in November. It was going 1 mile and 70. It was a 4-horse field. I know he kind of duck out a little bit at the start, but I just wonder if he's going to handle the cutback well here. It's really a little bit of a question mark for me, and I just thought I'd go shopping elsewhere in a bunch that it's a wild card race here. A lot of ways to go. Best of luck.
Field is making their way on track for today's fourth race. Race 4 is a maiden claimer for 3-year-olds and up, going for a claiming price of $8,000 down to $7,000. Traveling a distance of 6 1/2 furlongs, competing for a purse of $22,200. Race 4 offers win, play, show, exactor, 20-cent try, double, 20-cent super, and 20-cent pick 3 wagering. Race 4 post parade, number 1 is Common Canter. Juan Crawford rides for owner-trainer Roger Hasmatali. Number 2 is Zip to Zap, racing for Zilly Racing Stables. Deshaun Gaskin riding for trainer Steve Cherkop. Number 3 is Hard Performer, Kirk Johnson riding for owner-trainer Marvin Richards. Number 4 is We Come in Peace, racing for Bruno Schickadans. Chad Lee in the irons for trainer Julie Mathis. Number 5 is Peely Island. Deshaun Bino rides for trainer Joan Mitchell and owner Andrew Roberts. Number 6 is Charity First. Corey Jordan riding for trainer Paul Epien and owner MPB Stables. Completing the field, number 7 Z Hub. Jeffrey Alderson picks up the mount for trainer Ken Smith and owner Radcliffe Racing Stable. 1 minute to post for race 4, final chance to play a rolling pick 3 on today's card. Not too much time left to get those race 4 wagers in. Current favorite at 3-2 is the number 2 Zip to Zap. 5-2 support on the number 3 Hard Performer. Last chance to play a pick 3 this week here at Fort Erie. They'll be heading to post shortly. Race 4 field is approaching the starting gate. Last call to get your Race 4 wagers in. Race 4 field set to head behind the starting gate. It is now post time. Zip to Zap, still the 3-2 favorite, as the field begins to head behind the gate. First up will be Common Cantor and Juan Crawford. Zip to Zap with Deshaun Gaskin. Hard Performer, the son of Hard Spun, with Kirk Johnson. We Come in Peace with Chad Lee. Gate 5 for Peely Island, making his Fort Erie debut with Deshaun Bino. The Mare, Charity First with Corey Jordan. Last in will be Z-Hub and Jeffrey Alderson looking for his third win on the card. All set. They're off. Good beginning. Z-Hub showing speed from the far outside with Hard Performer. Also there is Peely Island. Between horses We Come in Peace. Common Cantor falling back down along the inside, racing towards the rail with Zip to Zap to his outside, and the early trailer is the Mare, Charity First. Good speed from Hard Performer, the 7-year-old with the full cup blinkers. Kirk Johnson has opened up a 4.5 length advantage over Peely Island in the green cap. We Come in Peace down along the rail with Z-Hub, who's now racing third on the far outside after the good beginning. The first quarter was 22-4. Now trying to make a rally, Common Cantor, steadying on the inside of We Come in Peace, who's beginning to backpedal. Zip to Zap making a 3-wide rally, and the trailer is still Charity First. Unchallenged on the lead so far, it's Hard Performer. Peely Island asked to get a little closer from second now with Z-Hub. These three are well clear of the rest. Zip to Zap coming into fourth past We Come in Peace and a hard-to-handle Common Cantor. Charity First still trails as they corner. It's Hard Performer. He's led every step. Getting a bit tired now. They're beginning to inch closer. Peely Island and Z-Hub both down the far outside. Z-Hub probably moving best. Hard Performer clinging to the lead. Z-Hub and Jeffrey Alderson looking for his third of the day, but Hard Performer is still there in front, 70 yards to go. Z-Hub and Hard Performer. Z-Hub just gets up. Z-Hub over Hard Performer. Then Zip to Zap, Peely Island, Common Cantor, Charity First, and We Come in Peace. 120-4. Photo finish in race 4. Hold all tickets. In the photo, it's the number 7 Z-Hub over the number 3 Hard Performer. Third, number 5 Peely Island, and fourth, number 2 Zip to Zap. Unofficial race 4 order, 7352. Now returning to the winner's circle, the unofficial race 4 winner, number 7 Z-Hub. Z-Hub is a 4-year-old Greyer Roan gelding by Unbridled Energy out of Psalm 23, bred in West Virginia by Williams Racing Corp. Jeffrey Alderson picks up the mount for his 3rd win of the day. Z-Hub is trained by Ken Smith for Radcliffe Racing Stable. Z-Hub, in his Fort Erie debut, gets up to break the maiden in a winning time of 1:20.4. Congratulations to the connections of Z-Hub. Hold all tickets until race 4 is made official. Race 4 is now official. Prices are up. Z-Hub, 1080 to win, 450 and 390. Second, number 3, Hard Performer, $3 to place, 270. Third, number 5, Peely Island, $8.90 to show. $2 exacta, 7.3, 36.50. The $1 try, 7.35, $147.15. $1 super, 7.352, $282.05. $2 double, 1.7, 19.10. $1 pick 3, 42.95, and the $1 early pick 4, 92.35. On screen now is the win photo from race 4. Now on screen, the show photo from race 4. We had a claim out of race 4. The number 2, Zip to Zap, claimed by Lincoln Rodhay, moves to the barn of trainer Mike Cohen. Race 5 coming up in 17 minutes. There are no changes.
Race 5 kicks off the late double. It's an allowance event here for Colton Geldings, and they'll compete at 1.70 miles on the main track, a field of 5 going postward. And going to focus my attention, on the inside 3. I found them to be the most interesting. And on the morning line, the 1 Scat Factor is favored. I'm going to try to beat him with the 2 If You Insist for Mark Fournier, a horse that was able to roll fresh off the layoff to win here a $5,000 claimant event where they were able to use the waiver, and it was different. It was 6.5 furlongs, but I've always thought kind of the world of this horse and would love to have a horse like him because he just fires every single time. Distance doesn't matter. 1 turn, 2 turns, he always shows up. And I thought if anyone could turn the tables on Scat Factor, it would likely be him. When we saw him here last year, we did see him win around 2 turns. Pretty impressive against allowance non-winners of 2 life, where he just got to the lead and he cruised on the front end to win by 5 1/4. So looking at that figure, it was somewhat comparable to what he ran here at a sprint distance, and I think he can build upon that effort on May 31st. So use him on top. I do respect the 1 Scat Factor. I mean, he wants to go long. This is what he wants to do. You can see that they made a big effort last year, especially late in the season, just to aim him to the 2-turn races, whether that be the Puss in Boots or then those dirt races where he was able to win 2 in a row here, going 2 turns, and then capped off his season with a runner-up finish behind Victory March, who we just know had been a dominating force here over the last several years. Now, in his return this year, in terms of the trip that he got, it was on the grass going 7 ace. I just don't think he was, fully tightened to get going off the long layoff. So I expect him to be better here. I expect him to take a step forward on the dirt. I like the inside for him. He'll be able to save ground. Alexis Sanchez knows him so well. I think that's a selling point. And physically, just looking at him today, I did think he took another step forward from his first start of 2026. And then finally, the number 3, Le Grand Garçon. I'll never forget the first day I saw this horse come over for schooling because you can't miss him. He's a beautiful big gray gelding. He's almost white, and he can show up. He's been really consistent here on the main track. It's where all 3 of his wins have been. Last season, we saw him finish 3rd. He was 3 lengths behind Scat Factor, who was the runner-up there in the Harvest Moon Cup, and he was able to actually win here going 1.70 miles. You can see that effort 3 back at the beginning of September. I think in terms of what he beat in there, this group's a little bit tougher because you do have Scat Factor and If You Insist. But I think in terms of trip, it's going to be interesting to see where he is. In that race where he won, he was pretty close to it. I envision, with this just being his first start of the year, for him to be rolling late, and that's traditionally what we've seen from him in most of his starts. He's a big lumbering horse. He'll get rolling here in the final stages, and I think he can pick up a piece. But for me, the number 2, If You Insist, is going to be my top pick here in the 5th. Good luck.
Field is making their way on track for today's fifth race. Race 5 is an allowance race for 3-year-olds and up, traveling a distance of 1 mile and 70 yards, competing for a purse of $25,050. Race 5 offers win, play, show, exactor, 20-cent try, double, and 20-cent superfecta wagering. Race 5 post parade. Number 1 is Scat Factor. Alexis Sanchez rides for trainer Allison Jennings and owner Logan Freets. Number 2 is If You Insist. Juan Crawford has the call for trainer Mark Fournier and owners Tanya Orth, Dean Zaniol, and David Green. Tom Steer owns and trains the number 3, Le Grand Garçon. The rider is Jeffrey Alderson. Number 4 is Mr. Mystiques. Steve Jadu pilots for trainer Joan Mitchell, who owns in partnership with David Weingarten. Completing the field, number 5, Times a Breeze. Leo Salas riding for trainer Roy Augustino and owner Hopefield Farm. 2 minutes to post for race 5. Late double wagering offered here. Starting gate is in position. Not too much time left to get your race 5 wagers in. Late double wagering offered here. 6-5 favorite is the number 2, If You Insist. 9-5 on the number 1, Scat Factor. Sure to get those race 5 wagers in. They'll be heading to post shortly. Field for race 5 is at the starting gate. It is now post time. If You Insist, 7-5 favorite over Scat Factor at 8-5. They're going to back in Scat Factor to begin the loading process. Alexis Sanchez to climb back aboard. If You Insist and Juan Crawford, the 6-5 favorite, now 8-5, will be the next to go in. Favoritism is shifted to Scat Factor at even money. Le Grand Garçon looking to give Jeffrey Alderson his 4th win of the day. Mr. Mystiques with Steve Jadu. Last up will be Times a Breeze with Leo Salas. All set. They're off over a mile 70. If You Insist broke on top with Scat Factor to his outside. Le Grand Garçon, the gray, is going to be somewhat forwardly placed with Mr. Mystiques. Widest into the opening turn will be Times a Breeze. Not very much pace on. They're all in early contention. They're in a line of 5. Now Salas tries to take Times a Breeze down to the inside to save some ground. The pace is being made by If You Insist. He's up a length over Mr. Mystiques with Steve Jadu in second. Good position for Scat Factor, third on the inside. He's now racing a length and a half better than Le Grand Garçon. And Times a Breeze, only about 6 lengths off the lead. The opening quarter was 24 seconds flat. They turn into the backside, and If You Insist and Juan Crawford lead a length to Mr. Mystiques on the outside of Scat Factor. Le Grand Garçon and Jeffrey Alderson racing in 4th, and Times a Breeze can see them all. They race within the 4.5. It's still If You Insist, bet down to 3-5, leading the charge as they race within the half. Mr. Mystiques still second. Scat Factor biding his time, third on the inside, with Le Grand Garçon 4th, and Times a Breeze still at the back, asked to pick it up now. Into the turn they go. It's If You Insist. He's opened up 2 lengths. Scat Factor ridden along to keep up from second. Le Grand Garçon comes off the inside, gathering momentum past Mr. Mystiques. And Times a Breeze under a drive. 2 furlongs to go. They've got work to do to catch If You Insist. He's had it all his own way, and he's up by 4 at the head of the lane. Scat Factor comes off the inside. Times a Breeze trying to split foes with Le Grand Garçon widest. With a furlong to go, it's If You Insist. Still well in control. He's up by 5. Scat Factor trying. Le Grand Garçon next, then Times a Breeze. They're well strung out in the final 16th. If You Insist, coast to coast. If You Insist wins by a diminishing length and 3/4 over Scat Factor, then Le Grand Garçon, Times a Breeze, and Mr. Mystiques, 142-3. Unofficial in race 5, the winner is number 2, If You Insist. Second, number 1, Scat Factor. Third, number 3, Le Grand Garçon. And fourth, number 5, Times a Breeze. Unofficial race 5 order, 2-1-3-5. Back in front of the stands, returning to the winner's circle is the unofficial winner of today's 5th race, number 2, If You Insist. If You Insist is a 5-year-old bay gelding by Frack Daddy out of OK One More, bred here in Ontario by Daniel Mooney. Gate to Wire under Juan Crawford, If You Insist is trained by Mark Fournier for Tanya Orth, Dean Zaniel, and David Green. If You Insist, now a perfect 2 for 2 this season at Fort Erie. This is his 7th lifetime win in 24 starts. He completes the mile in 70 in a winning time of 1:42 and 3. Congratulations to the connections of If You Insist. Race 5 is now official. Prices are up. If You Insist returns $320 to win, $210 and $210. Second, number 1, Scat Factor, $210, $210. Third, number 3, Le Grand Garçon, $230 to show. $2 Exacta, $2-1, $450. The $1 Try, $213, $415. $1 Super, $2-1-3-5, $570. $2 Double, $7-2, $27.60. And the $1 Pick 3, $39.90. And we'd like to give a shout out to our partners, Niagara Rhinoplasty of Dr. Jeff M. Robichaud. Contact info is on screen now, located at 23 Hanover Drive, St. Catharines. And a shout out to our partners at Portage M&A Advisory. You've already made history. Now it's time to make your future. Contact info on screen now. And a shout out to The Place Bar and Grill, sponsoring the Trackside Tiki Bar this year. The place to go after the races at 981 Garrison Road. Race 6 coming up in 19 minutes. We have a rider change on the number 4, La Ronde. Make the rider Jeffrey Alderson.
Race 6 rounds out another beautiful racing here at Fort Erie. We're on the turf at about 7 furlongs. It's a maiden special weight event for the fillies and mares, and it's by far our best betting race on the cards. We'll see what we can do here in the nightcap. I just want to note here there is a rider change on the number 4, LeBron, to make the rider Jeff Alderson, who's had a 3-win day. We'll look to make it 4 here in the nightcap. I'll go in a different direction, though. The number 1, Blues Mommy, caught my eye. If you caught the racing here yesterday, you would have saw in the nightcap John Sims moved a horse onto the grass and ended up being a recipe for success as he was able to score there with Star Scholar. It's a similar thought process here with Blues Mommy. I think a couple of things will work out for her. I think the turf shouldn't be an issue looking at the top side of her pedigree, but really want to see her get around 2 turns. I think when you look at her last couple of races, she's come to life. She's starting to look even better with each start under her belt, and she's improving from a figures perspective. She had a 27 buyer speed figure in the Summer Solstice Cup where she was 3rd behind Captain Clutch and Naked in the Forest. And then when she came back, she got a little extra distance from 5/8 to 6 furlongs. She was in that maiden special weight event. She just came up a little bit short there, beaten by a length. So I did think it was a really nice performance from her. As I mentioned, I'm not worried about the surface switch. I do think the stretch on a distance could help her as well, and the inside draw. So she ends up being the top pick, the 7, Silver Dart. I give a little bit of a look to this daughter of Mendelssohn, who's going to get with blinkers on for the first time in her career. She's had Lasix in the last 2. She was claimed last time out for $10,000 off the Kevin Attard barn, now in the barn of Ken Albu. This is a horse that a little streaky in the form. You see a good race, you see a bad race. It's been a little bit of everything, but I thought ran really well last time out. I mean, she was defeated as the favorite, but she rolled from off of it in a 9-horse event to finish second, beaten by a length and a quarter. And for her, I could see a different trip for her. I could actually see her be a little bit more forward here. I think she's handy enough that she could find herself maybe stalking the pace or be part of the pace, or she could roll from off of it. So I think having a horse like Silver Dart in here is a little handy. The blinkers on, though, suggest maybe that the connections will want to have her more forward here. And then finally, the number 5, It's Payday. I was really in love with her last time out. I was hoping that she would score the upset, and I kind of went back and watched the replay. She, in terms of the way she got out, it was okay out of the gate, but then she dropped back, and then she made a move. She just showed to me that she has room for improvement. She has the foundation there. She ended up being second best, beaten by 2 lengths, but thought it was hard for her to close from off of it. Maybe she just needed the race. She's going to stretch out on distance, get on the grass. I'm actually intrigued by that as well. And I just thought in here she was a very sneaky type that I wouldn't want to leave off of any of my tickets. But I mentioned we saved the best for last, a very challenging way here to round out the Tuesday cards. So good luck and good night. We hope to see you back here on Sunday.
Field is making their way on track for today's sixth and final race. Race 6 is a maiden allowance race for fillies and mares 3-year-olds and up. Traveling about 7 furlongs over the turf course, competing for a purse of $22,050. Race 6 offers win, play, show, exactor, 20-cent try, 20-cent super, and 20-cent jackpot high five wagering. That carry over just over $5,000. Also, ladies and gentlemen, we have the winners of today's non-winning ticket prize draw to announce. Could Pete A. and Morgan Stewart please head to customer service? Once again, that's Pete A. and Morgan Stewart. Congratulations. You are today's non-winning ticket prize draw winners. Please head to customer service to collect your prizes. Race 6 post-parade will start with number 2, Our Lily, ridden today by Leo Salas for trainer Brad Dunslow and owner James Ogilvy. Number 3 is Daring Dame. Juan Crawford rides for trainer Julie Mathis and owner David Mathis. Number 4 is La Ronde. Jeffrey Alderson picks up the mount for trainer Claudia Rabstein and owner John Grinsteins. Number 5 is It's Payday. Luis Reyes has the call for trainer Danny Wills and owner Tucci Stables. Number 6 is Dancin' Mary Marie, racing for Nadia Donlava. Deshaun Bino rides for trainer Desmond Maynard. Six Brothers Stable own the number 7, Silver Dart. Kirk Johnson rides for trainer Ken Albu. Number 8 is Our Skyline. Corey Jordan has the call for trainer Cindy Musto, who owns in partnership with Gary Wright. And on screen now, number 1, Blues Mommy. Deshaun Gaskin riding for trainer John Sims, who owns in partnership with Denise Carpenter. 1 minute to post for race 6. Jackpot high five wagering offered here. We're on the turf to close out the racing week at Fort Erie. Race 6 field is making their way onto the turf course. Last call to get your Race 6 wagers in. Over $5,000 in the Jackpot High Five carryover. And we've got a good field of 8 to go a circuit of the turf course to close out the week. Fillies and Mares are behind the starting gate for race 6. It is now post time for the nightcap. Co-favorite at 5-2 are the numbers 1, Blues Mommy, and 7, Silver Dart. 7-2 support on number 4, La Ronde. Got a field of 8 to go the extended 7 furlongs here. First up will be Blues Mommy and Deshaun Gaskin. Blues Mommy comes up. Our Lily making her turf debut with Leo Salas. Daring Dame, new to Fort Erie. Juan Crawford looking for both ends of the late double. La Ronde, Jeffrey Alderson looking for his 4th of the day. It's Payday with Luis Reyes, also with a winner on the card on the turf. Gate 7 for Silver Dart, making her first start off the claim. Kirk Johnson aboard. Silver Dart behind. Still up is Dancing Mary Marie will be the next to come up with Deshaun Bino. A bit fractious behind the gate. Ooh, reaction in the gate from It's Payday. Very fractious. Stand by. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a late vet scratch here in today's 6th race. Number 5, It's Payday, has been scratched here. Win, play, show, exacta try, super, and jackpot high five wagers on It's Payday will be refunded. There'll be a consolation double paid, and if you were live to It's Payday and any pick 3, pick 4, or pick 5 wagers, you will inherit the post-time favorite. Once again, that is a late vet scratch of the number 5, It's Payday. Slight delay before the start of today's 6th race. And we're ready to reload here for today's 6th race. Blues Mommy back in her position, gate 1. Our Lily will be the next to come up. Daring Dame. Daring Dame a bit sharp behind the gate is unseated Jeffrey Alderson. LaRonde comes up. Jeffrey Alderson to climb back aboard. Second attempt here for Dancin' Mary Marie. Dancin' Mary Marie still proving difficult to get forward. A reminder, if you're here on track with us after this race, the free concert featuring Cottage Brew will be starting down by the Tiki Bar. Favoritism currently on the number 7 Silver Dart, co-favorite at 5-2 with LaRonde. As we still await cooperation from Dancin' Mary Marie. At long last, Dancin' Mary Marie has stepped up. Silver Dart and Kirk Johnson at 2-1. Going to load Silver Dart without the rider. Silver Dart comes up. Kirk Johnson to climb back aboard. Last in will be our Skyline and Corey Jordan. All set for the nightcap. They're off. Our Skyline out well from the outside with Silver Dart and Dancin' Mary Marie tugging at the rider in the early stages. Blues Mommy racing in 4th down along the inside with LaRonde now splitting horses advancing into the pack. Daring Dame races towards the rear and the early trailer is Our Lily. They race within the 6 furlong marker. It's Our Skyline on top now taking pressure from Dancin' Mary Marie. LaRonde is moved into third on the outside of a rank Blues Mommy. Wide trip for Silver Dart in fifth. Hard to handle near the back is Daring Dame. Our Lily can see them all as they race midway down the backside. It's Our Skyline and Corey Jordan maintaining a short advantage from Dancing Mary Marie and the cheek pieces out wide. Blues Mommy down along the inside. Silver Dart in the white cap is out wide with LaRonde between horses. Our Lily has overtaken the hard-to-handle Daring Dame. 3 furlongs to travel. The opening quarter, 25-1. The half was 49-1. They still have Our Skyline to catch with Dancing Mary Marie between horses as Silver Dart descends 3 wide. Our Lily has rallied into fourth in contention. Blues Mommy needs somewhere to go as LaRonde falls back, and here comes Daring Dame swinging to the extreme outside. Many with a chance as they reach the head of the lane. Here's a split for Blues Mommy. The lead currently with Dancing Mary Marie. Silver Dart there. Blues Mommy trying to rally. Our Lily from the back with Daring Dame. It's Dancing Mary Marie, Silver Dart right there. It's these two, Silver Dart, Dancing Mary Marie. Photo finish in the nightcap. Very tight there between Dancing Mary Marie and Silver Dart. Then Blues Mommy, Our Lily, Daring Dame, LaRonde, and Our Skyline, 126-4. Hold all tickets, photo finish in the nightcap. In the photo, it's the number 7, Silver Dart, over the number 6, Dancing Mary Marie. Third, number 1, Blues Mommy. Fourth, number 2, Our Lily. Unofficial race 6 order, 7-6-1-2. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a rider's claim of foul in the running of today's 6th race. The rider of number 2, Our Lily, alleging interference against the number 1, Blues Mommy, alleging interference at the start. That's a rider's claim of foul, 2-on-1, fourth against third, alleging interference at the beginning of the race. This does not affect the unofficial top 2, and now back in front of us, coming to the winner's circle, is your unofficial winner, number 7, Silver Dart. Silver Dart's a 3-year-old dark bay or brown filly by Mendelssohn out of Macallangal, bred here in Ontario by Ballycroy Bloodstock. Ridden to victory today by Kirk Johnson, Silver Dart is trained by Ken Albu for Six Brothers Stable. Off the claim, Silver Dart makes her turf debut, a winning one, breaking the maiden in start number 6, completing the about 7 furlong distance in a winning time of 126-4. Congratulations to the connections of Silver Dart. Hold all tickets until race 6 is made official. The steward's inquiry is ongoing. Claim of foul has been disallowed. No change in the order of today's 6th race. Race 6 will be made official shortly. And race 6 is now official. Prices are up. Silver Dart, $10.50 to win, $4.90 and $4.10. Second, number 6, Dancin' Mary Marie, $6.60 to place, $3.80. Third, number 1, Blues Mommy, $2.80 to show. $2 exacta, 7.6, $47 even. The $1 try, 7.61, $68 even. $1 super, 7.612, $307.05. $1 high five, 76123, $173.05. Multiple winning tickets in the high five, so the carryover into Sunday's card will be $6,094.74. $2 double, 2.7, $12. The consolation double with the late scratch number 5, $2.80. $1 pick 3, $90.05. $1 late pick 4, $367.35. And the $1 pick 5, $585.20. Jackpot High Five carryover continues to grow. Sunday's carryover will be $6,094.74. Visit our website, FortErieRacing.com, for information about everything going on here at the track. Tune into the pre-race show for info about the track conditions, scratches and changes, handicapping, and info about upcoming races and events. We're back on Sunday at Fort Erie. Post time will be 12:15. If you're here on track, stick around. The free concert from Cottage Brew is about to start. And as we're racing on Sunday, it's Wiener Dog Day. Be sure to come out for the Wiener Dogs after the last horse race of the day, post time 12:15. Fort Erie's proud to partner with Oneida New Holland of Niagara. We'd like to thank them for providing us with a tractor for our racetrack maintenance. And a shout out to our partners at True Green Professional Lawn Care, who have been helping us keep the grass looking green and lush. Tune into the Fort Erie Race Replay Show on your TV Niagara, channel 70 HD or 100 Epico, Thursdays at 10:30, Saturdays at 4, and Sundays at noon. And that concludes the racing week here from Fort Erie Racetrack. We'd like to thank everybody who joined us here this week. Stick around if you're on site. Cottage Brew about to start down by the Tiki Bar. And be sure to come out. Going to be a great crowd this Sunday for horse races and Wiener Dog Day. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday evening.